rank his likability. They actually scored, or they used something. I got to see where the source is. They said Drake's favorability fell 13 points because of this song and this battle that they believe UMG pushed and promoted to devalue Drake. So that was kind of interesting. I don't know if Drake's actively monitoring that, or maybe there's some other agency. Like when we think about somebody like Drake or Taylor Swift or The Weeknd, we think these are behemoths that have made billions of dollars off rap or country or pop music, that we almost think that they have to have so many things in place to make sure, because they themselves are a Fortune 500 company pretty much, right? If you're generating hundreds of millions of dollars, you're pretty much a company, right? It can't be just a small team or maybe just an artist like doing these things. Anyway, I'm well aware of the outrage on Twitter. I see a lot of people talking about, yo, Drake is suing, or Drake mentioned some of the what do you call it again? Reactors, and I think a lot of people are in an uproar. I'm gonna try to make sense of this, but also I'm gonna be very honest as well. Whether you believe I'll be honest, that's up to you. I think I keep telling you this is like politics now, right? If I say if I say, oh, Drake is wrong, you're like, oh, Drake stopped paying him, right? If I say, oh, no, Drake has a point here, oh, you on his dick. So you can't win either way. And I understand that. So again, it's content. I'm gonna keep doing it. But I don't really have faith in you guys really being able to discern honest thoughts, or even you guys give honest thoughts rather than just say, I don't like Drake right now, so everything is doing bad, or I do like Drake, so whatever. So let's try to be impartial. That's the biggest topic going into today's stream. He officially sued. We do have the entire lawsuit, the Akademiks.blog. If you guys haven't checked that out, we did post it here. It's elsewhere if you guys didn't come here, but we try to post everything rap related in terms of lawsuits and filings. The entire paperwork we post here, and essentially this is how it starts. And we're gonna kind of get into this whole thing, and yeah. Let me just check the chat real quick. How y'all doing? I gotta put like a dark mode on. I hate not being. You know when it's on like light mode, I gotta like open up my other computer to like see what the hell's going on, because I can't see the chat. Turn the mic up. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Wow. Okay. My mic's still low. It should be good now. Should be good. All right. Okay. Apologize if the mic was low. So, oh wow. Now this is like super bright on my face. Pause. Okay, that should be good. Oh, what the fuck? Oh. All right. Bet. Now, let me give some overall thoughts, honestly, before I get into this. And I've said this from day one. I think this lawsuit is interesting. Me, myself, I've made a living and a fortune in media exposing this industry. I'm what people usually call a necessary evil. I'm not the person who's liked by many. You all know, you hear how much I'm disliked. Yes, some of what I do you might call antagonistic, but a lot of what I do is kind of report and say the things that if I was in cahoots with, whether it's a label, a PR team, or these artists, I wouldn't do. So the nature of who I am, I always remember, I was just like y'all. If you're watching the stream right now, whether on YouTube, whatever gets uploaded by Drill, or you're watching this live, you probably have a little bit pause of me inside of like your psyche, in the sense of you want to know a little bit more about what's going on in music. You're more than the regular fan. This ain't regular fan time. We stream at 10 o'clock. You got to be really into this shit to really try to get more than what your friend knows. Back in the day, I used to want all the details because I would argue with my friends every day at lunchtime in, high school or whatever. You wanted to know all the info because it made you, come on. Like that was me. And I think that's y'all too. So I say this, and this is my thought about the lawsuit. I don't think any artist suing Universal Music Group. Universal Music Group is the Illuminati. It's like a rapper and artist suing Live Nation. That's the Illuminati too. There's certain organizations that are too big to fail. If someone sues Amazon, you're gonna probably lose, right? Now I'm not gonna say there aren't settlements this and third, but there's no one person taking down Amazon. There's no one person taking down Universal. There's not one person taking down Live Nation. These are companies, and I had to explain to somebody today what the real meaning of an industry is. Like, you have businesses, but an industry is usually really controlled by a very small amount of people. They create the industry. Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group, they actually create the industry. Why? Because the way how they operate, they basically have a ironclad, well-oiled machine that is cyclical in how they create music, and it's the reason why even of the new catalogs, still 85% of all new catalog ends up being on a major. Everybody talks independent, but Jello Ball just signed, okay? It does, basically, if you want success in music, you have to, that's kind of what the industry is. You got to get in the industry. You got to get with the people controlling the shit. How do they control the shit? They own part of SoundCloud, Spotify. They have these deals and shit like that. I made an explanation to someone today because they were like, well, Drake could just go independent. This is the reason why I've never liked Drake suing Universal. Now, we'll get into his reasons that he claims. And by the way, he hasn't spoken on this publicly. He hasn't put out a press release. Universal put out one today. He ain't saying nothing about this lawsuit, other than if you want to believe that Chris Griffith thing. Everything we're hearing about this lawsuit, we're getting it from Drake's filing, and it's a lawyer saying it, which sounds mad federal. That's one of the reasons I think he should speak. Your lawyer is going to make you sound dumb federal. Your lawyer is going to make you sound like a snitch. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you're going to sound real crazy if your lawyer, his job is only tasked with getting the money that you claim you're owed, he's going to say anything in these filings. It's 81 pages. I don't think Drake's going through this with a fine-teeth comb. It's just like these rappers when they go to court and they're like, yo, I'm gangster. They throw up 10 gang signs outside and they be like, yo, man, fuck the judge, fuck the prosecutor. They get to court and get a nice plea, head down. They don't say a word. Yes, sir, your honor. And their fucking lawyer gets them to say yes, ma'am, to every question. And they get out of there and then say, I gangster. You know what I mean? They don't do the same thing they do out of court, in court. You know what I'm saying? So, or the lawyer will sign some agreement that makes them look crazy. But the objective is to get out. Anyway, once again, I'm not a fan of this lawsuit. And it's not for the reason you think. Now, the first thing I told you, I'm the not liked person in hip hop because I go for the digging. I want to know your contracts. That's a very private thing and a proprietary thing for most labels and for the people who they're signing. They don't want Akademiks to know your contract. I want to know your contracts. I've done a lot of finagling to get niggas contracts, management deals, all type of shit. Send it to me anonymously. Listen, anytime I love when an artist beefing with his label, I get on the phone with the label owner. I said, yo, just send it to this. Just send it from a random email. I'll just cite it. You know how many times I help labels expose their artists and I help artists expose their labels? I'm just that guy. I'm just the guy of wherever the mess, but as long as it's truthful and something that could be content, I'm going to get to it. So in that sense, of course I love a lawsuit against UMG. We're going to figure out everything, all the nooks and crannies and all the bullshit that really happened in the industry. This industry is a very treacherous place. A place that I've seen behind the veil a little bit, and I'm talking as Zach. I've seen a little bit, and I just say, I wish I could get over to really over there to really start looking through the drawers of the CEO pause. Like, you know what I mean? Like the offices of the CEOs to really see the real dirt, because what I've seen is a lot of fuck shit. So this lawsuit actually gives a hope that somebody like me could be fed in that way. If this lawsuit really continues and goes to a certain limit, we're going to find out so much about Drake's career, Universal, how they treat new artists, how everything is done. And for me as a media person, I'm always intrigued. Now, I'm a Drake fan. Everybody knows that, right? This is not a good thing for Drake. It can't be. right? I don't care what his fans try to say. It can't be. Drake can never defeat UMG. There is no artist that can defeat UMG. You can't. It can't. Okay? Now, here's the thing. What does a win for Drake look like with this? Well, let's just start spitballing shit. I see some of his fans say, nah, he gonna get $1 billion. Great, at the expense of his own career. Because if you think that UMG, first of all, today was a very important day. Him filing this lawsuit meant that Universal has to commission probably at least $1 million in responding, gathering some type of discovery, because that's what comes really next, filing motions, doing all these show cause motions, setting all, probably it's going to be a lot of money. They have obviously an extensive legal team, but now Drake is costing them money in court when he used to make them money on Spotify. That doesn't tell them that when Drake wants to drop his next project or Drake wants anything, that they're going to be like that. They have any incentive to keep promoting Drake's career to make him a bigger star while he's trying to take money outside of the contract from them. It doesn't make sense. So for me as a music fan of Drake, I look at this and say, well, he might as well just tell us prepare for a cold winter, because I don't think we're getting no new music from him. I don't want that. So that's why I think it's bad. I want new Drake music, and I want his music to do well. I don't think his music or anybody's music could do the best to its ability without the label. It's an industry, it's baked in the cake. If you're not with Universal, Sony, or if you're not with motherfucking Warner, your music just won't get to the next legs. I was explaining again to someone today. Let me give you the real analogy. A lot of this, that's why I keep saying industry, a lot of this music shit's almost like a Ponzi scheme. Okay? Check this out. Universal, they have leveraged their catalog so much for decades. They essentially own the stores. So let me give you an analogy, right? Imagine you own some fire-ass product. This is your product. I'm going to make it up. Your product could cut the lawn, cut your hair, and clean the bathroom. That's your product, whatever product that is, right? Fire, right? Everybody loves it. Cool. People see it on TikTok. People like, oh, shit, that's that shit, blah, 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 blah. It's supposedly fire. Well, how do they get it? Well, they got to go to the store to go get it. Well, who owns the store? Well, partially Universal, Sony, and goddamn Warner. Now, at first, they're going to let that shit sit up there on a nice little front aisle. Okay, cool. Everybody talking about it on TikTok. Go get it. But then they're going to approach a person when it starts to get a little bit more traction and say, hey, listen, since we own the store and we own everything else and we could promote it a little bit better, how about we do a deal? How about we take your song, we're going to make it 10 times bigger, but we're going to do some things because we own the store that you can't do, right? I.e., instead of having it on that shelf that, people see it because of all this word of mouth promotion, we're going to put like this little kiosk that when people walk in the store, they can't avoid it. They got to walk around it or they got to directly interact with it. Even if it's a shitty product, they might be like, yo, we're going to just put a bundle with it. Every time people spend $25, they get $5 off your product. Basically, that's what I'm telling you. That's why you can't beat these labels. They control all the catalog, so I don't care how good your song is. You got your Jello ball and you got 60 million plays on your new song. Yeah, you could be independent, but what you just had is a lightning in a bottle. This label is going to tell you, we're going to not only make the song 3-4 times bigger than you could ever do by yourself, we're going to give you a whole career with it, and we're going to go fund it. I know people keep saying why sign to labels, but the cake is still baked the same damn way. Okay? This is why this is why Universal, Warner, and Sony, they're not in the business of trying to create DSPs. They're in the business of owning the catalog. If a company reserves the right to own 90% of the store, put it like this, and I'm gonna give you a Drake, because I know people like, oh, Drake go independent. This is what happens. Say Drake gets a hot song. This is how it works when Drake's on Universal. When Drake gets a hot song, everybody move out the way. Drake got a hot song. No, you can't even drop, nigga. We don't even want to hear you right now. It's Drake's turn. Limit all new product to market, because Drake, who is a priority of us, is making a shit ton of money. Okay? That's how it works. Priorities get the priority. Okay? Remember, you own the store. So now you tell everybody else trying to get their product, no. The first, second, and third shelf is all Drake. So, yeah, too bad for y'all. Y'all can't, right now it's Drake. He got to smash. It's God's plan. This is what happened when you're not with a major. Okay, say you're Jello Ball or whoever. You got a hot song. Your shit does get on the first shelf, but they tried for a while to get you under the fold. Nah, come over here. Everybody try to get you. Once they realize that you're trying to be independent, all they do is flood their product and push. Your product just keeps getting pushed to the left. The entire music landscape is market share. These labels are powerful because of their catalog. And as much as Drake is an amazing streaming artist, the best streaming artist in streaming history, okay? The best streaming artist in streaming history. Universal, Sony, and Warner, they create talent. They have been in the business of creating talent. And when they now own the catalog, they leverage. This is why some of the things that Drake alleges is going to be a little bit bizarre, and I'm going to give an analytical perspective to it, because that's what a label does. Hey, labels will do this. I'll give it on a media perspective. Yo, I'll give it okay. This actually happened at when I was at what do you call it? Complex. Okay, Rock Nation leverages, I don't know, they'll leverage a big artist. I forgot what the big artist at the time was. But actually, I could do it even with Capitol. Capitol used to leverage the Migos, who was hot as fish grease at the time, and say, if y'all want this Migos interview, you got to go interview that person, that person, that person, that person, that person, that person. That's leverage. That's how the game goes, right? So these labels are all about leveraging, right? So this is why when, Drake is going to allege certain things like the company has leveraged its position to get this other song popular, I'm like, well, that's what a label does. Like, labels, that's their whole game. This is why independent artists have a really hard time competing with major labels, because a major label will leverage their biggest artists for their smallest. Like, I'll even give you another example. Hopefully you guys are keeping up with me. We're going to get to the lawsuit. And by the way, I hope you understand. I'm trying to give you like a really layman's term explanation before we get into the weeds. When I was signed to Spotify, right? Again, I'm using different entities and different businesses and different business models to tell you when you're in an industry, this is how it goes. It was reported on The Verge. There's a Verge website article about this. I want to pull it up. I just want to give you the anecdote. It basically said that Spotify would leverage Joe Rogan to get everybody else ads at a higher rate. They would say, hey, if you want to buy ads at, I don't know, maybe $1 million for like 3 ad reads from Joe Rogan, you got to spend at least $500,000 on these other shows that are our priorities too. What does that mean? That one big artist was getting other people money and subsidizing the rest of the people, right? So Joe Rogan was helping subsidize the rest of the business. Now, again, what I'm trying to tell you is that when you're whether it's Spotify or podcasts to a certain extent, I wouldn't say they're nearly like labels, but when you're like labels, you get to damn near almost create the next thing. You get to limit also people who are independent who don't play the game. That's very, very important. It's always happened. This is not new. It's happened before Drake, and it's going to happen after Drake. So there's a few instances in the lawsuit that Drake is like shocked. It appears that he's like, whoa, why are you doing that? It's like, well, what did you think a label was? This is what a label does. So for the people who do think that Drake could go independent and get half of the results, You're wrong. Second of all, there are some things we're going to find out. Well, before I get to second of all, I give a slight critique. You know why I hate this lawsuit? The lawsuit uses public information rather than Drake's private information that he has with his label. Yes, we understand that DJ Akademiks interviewed some guy who botted some streams for Kendrick. That's cited in the lawsuit. Funk Flex talked about payola that happens on radio. That's cited in the lawsuit. But what would have been more important is information that we probably wouldn't have known, which they omit like completely. I don't know if it's there, but they omit it. First of all, if the offending party is the label you're signed to or your priority, it shows nothing about Drake having any communication with his label saying, yo, you're promoting a song that's calling me a pedophile. It doesn't say anything, at least from what I read. I'm going to read it again in front of y'all, but yeah, I would like to see that. So when did you ever tell UMG, yo, you're promoting a song that's calling me a pedophile? Could you stop? Did you send them a cease and desist? That's normal. If we're going to file lawsuits, that's normal. Did you communicate with them that this is hurtful? Did you communicate with them after your house got shot at and you had to move your son out of your school, of his school? I think that was what he says. We're going to get to it. Did you communicate with that label to say, hey, did you communicate with them in Spotify to say, hey, you have my house as a cover art to this song and my house just got shot at? Stop. Because if none of those things or communications happen, it seems a lot like it's happening in post when really nothing could be done. I guess you could get money, but it then would lead the like-minded people who I see are a lot on Twitter who are saying, no, this lawsuit's only filed because you lost. You get what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to see that, where Drake maybe was telling them, hey, listen, hey, if you put out the song, or if you keep marketing it this way, you're putting my life in danger, you're doing this, you're doing that. The lawsuit omits all of that. It doesn't show Drake talking to his label at all. Like, what the hell? Like, bro, you've made these guys billions of dollars. You've made $1 billion. How come you never tell them? Right? And I don't think that's a good thing. Anyway, we're going to go through it all. First and foremost, again, the academy.blog, if you want to see all of these things. I'll say this. Let me just go to the... So yesterday in New York court, Drake, he filed this thing to drop the petition, right? So it's a... to give in layman's terms, it's gonna be so much court terms. And I hope when you guys watch me, you understand that I'm trying to like break shit down, not trying to make you a law student, right? So when Drake filed this petition, right? This petition was a pre-action in court that was trying to petition the court to basically get pre-discovery that was needed to file the lawsuit. Now, that was an interesting move, and I actually thought it was like a kind of a pussy move. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I didn't think Drake was gonna file a lawsuit at all. I was like, why not just file the lawsuit? Instead, what the petition was asking for was, yo, show us some of the things that we have no access to that we could get the proof to file the lawsuit. And I'm like, just file the lawsuit, then ask for that in discovery. That's what people do. So I thought this was a leveraging play from Drake. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought Drake at some point was going to drop it after Universal probably be like, this is a bad look for us, whatever. But me, honestly, I think secretly, I think Universal, this is me speaking to y'all, I think Universal has responded in a way that Drake didn't think they would respond. I think they're saying to Drake, oh, you really think you that nigga? Well, fuck you, fuck a settlement, and fuck your career. I think that's exactly what they're saying to him. And I think they looked at the petition and said, brother, we got nothing to talk about. We could play hardball. We'll tell you how this is going to go. We're going to beat your ass in court. And while we beat your ass in court, your career or what's left of it, We're going to just watch it wither away because you can't drop music without us. And even if you try to push the limits and just drop erroneous music that we could take down, but we love money, so we're not going to take it down, we're not going to promote it. So you're going to be in a bad situation, my boy. But you think you want to go to war with us, we're going to have to teach you a lesson. And yes, I keep saying that it is kind of tantamount and equivalent to the plantation with these labels. Even Drake could go get a spanking. So I think this is what I personally believe, that Universal Music Group is down to give Drake a spanking. Okay? Drake filed this, so you filed this petition saying it was a pre-action. Yo, I want to give me the information that I could file the lawsuits, right? There was a hearing scheduled for a few days from now. All of a sudden, he files because the judge actually granted, it's called a order to show cause, right? So, basically it meant that Drake was going to be able to take some either depositions or be able to look at a few things that he had requested in terms of documents, and the judge had ordered almost like preservation. He withdrew, right, this order that the judge already granted. So the judge ruled in his favor, but he's withdrew it, and instead he just filed the lawsuit the next day. So we're also going to see that Universal, they're not fucking with him. But Spotify, because this is the one, in Texas, he sued iHeartMedia and Universal. In New York court, he sued Universal and Spotify. It looked like Spotify kind of talked to him, or their lawyers hollered at Drake's lawyers and said, yo, bro, you think we're trying to like, nigga, you helped build this streaming thing. What the fuck? We don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, we work with Universal, but if anybody's doing anything, it's Universal. Here's our books, or they're probably not giving the books, but whatever. Anyway, so it says petitioner and movant, Frozen Moments, which is Drake's company, by his attorneys, withdraws order to show cause seeking a pre-action disclosure and preservation of certain documents and communication from respondent UMG Records Recording Inc. and the pre-action disclosure for the same thing from Spotify USA. With exhibits filed in Supreme Court, blah, 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 blah. Okay? It says that the petitioner hereby voluntarily dismisses this special proceeding to all respondents without cost to any party, and the plaintiffs met and conferred, okay, with respondents on the 14th. So that will be yesterday, regarding this filing. Spotify, which did file an opposition to the order to show cause, responded that it has no objection with the withdrawal and discontinuance. Okay? So Spotify is basically saying, all right, cool, you don't want to continue, bet. I'm pretty sure some type of agreement got made to say, yo, we're going to find, and by the way, Drake could have got the information he needed, however he did. And he talked to Spotify, who knows what Spotify gave him, and he said, yo, all right, bet. We're not going to sue you, and that's probably why Spotify is saying, all right, we're agreeing, or we have no objection to you withdrawing this, because it takes us out of any legal action. UMG didn't file an opposition to the order yet, and it did reserve its position, and they're saying that's their position after this meeting. Oh, my bad, I can't see it. Reserves its position after this meeting on January 14th, yesterday, right? So that happens, and then immediately today we get the lawsuit. Now, this is 81 pages, people. Okay? Somebody said, is Zia's calling? Zia's calling my phone. Zia's know my number. Oh, get on. Okay. Let me, okay, so my boy Zias is here. Oh, did he call me on here? I'm pretty sure. Okay, let me talk to my boys. Yo, so Zias is joining my Discord. Could somebody help me out? Just get him in the chat with me. And yes, if you guys don't know, again, we're going to go through the whole thing. There's a portion, I don't want to skip ahead. There's a portion where Drake points to the promotion of the song and basically said streamers were allowed to react to it without Universal claiming it, and basically that encouraged streamers and reactors to react to the song more, which made them money and essentially made the label more money for this defamatory thing. Give me a second. I'm in chat niggas, by the way. So if somebody could help me out, that'd be great. Okay, so yeah, I think these are where some of the reactions are. Okay, so you see Kai Cenat. All right, so you see Kai Cenat there. You see RDC there.
Yo, I got him joining right now. I
Okay.
just got the phone.
All right, perfect. And Cartier family. Okay. Oh, and here they didn't put a picture, but they say YouTuber Zeus posted a 15-minute reaction to the recording on his YouTube channel, which has 4.94 million subscribers. As the date of this filing, the video has 6.6 million views. Then they use RDC Gaming. Then they say Kai Cenat. And by the way, no disrespect to this guy because I didn't know who he was. I don't know if he's a Twitch streamer, but Twitch streamer No Life Shack. They say he posted some stuff as well. He has 4.75 million subscribers, and now that has like 5 million views. Didn't really know who these guys were either. Cartier family, but that's a YouTube channel with over 1.4 million. So again. So, and I'll read this, I guess we are jumping ahead. It says, the effect of the whitelisting of the recording was massive in media. They're able to play the recording in full in their own videos as a profit from, and to profit from them. Content creators rush to republish the recording in reaction videos. As just a few examples, it lists these. Then it says, these content creators could not have legally republished the defamatory material in full or profited from the reactions without UMG first whitelisting the recording. Okay. All right. So we're gonna holler at Zeus. I think B-Lou should probably be with them. I actually reached out to them earlier because B-Lou seemingly has sent some Twitters out. Some tweets out, I mean. And his tweet was he says, yo, Drake, if you don't know, Zeus and B-Lou, they're like a duo, right? Pretty much the most popular. Chat, will we say number one most legendary music reactors ever, right? Zeus and B-Lou. Like, there's a lot of reaction channels. Obviously, Shot to Flight and everybody. But like, we're talking about music reactors. I think Zeus and B-Lou's number one all time, right? So B-Lou says, what the fuck I do to you?
The computer say, Floyd said, fuck T.I., fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what do you say?
So Drake is now suing UMG, and more info about the lawsuit has came out. I don't know why anyone's surprised about how everything is going. Drake, honestly, is ruining his legacy and career bit by bit, and it's so sad for me to say. Him with all these lawsuits and stuff. Like, okay, let's say Kendrick is botting and all that stuff. Bro, botting is to a point. I like what Axe said before, rappers like Drake and stuff, they're in their own little bubble. Their entourage is never playing Not Like Us. He's never seen Not Like Us. He did not know the song was that big. But yes, Not Like Us is a hit song. Like, internationally, Drake is the bigger artist, but when you're at the top for so long, bro, people don't want to see you there anymore. And I feel like that's the case what happened with Drake partly. And also, Not Like Us, it's a bop, bro. Like, it's an anthem. Like, bro, it's sad to say. And Drake, man, Drake might be one of the most hypocritical rappers. You know, he's emotional. Like, man, I don't know. I don't know how to defend it. Just gotta wait and see. Like the lawsuit, him putting all these people's names in there for reacting. Like, let's keep it a beam, bro. Even if UMG didn't make it so like people wouldn't get striked or something, they were still gonna react, bro. And the reason why it has a lot of views is because this it's what was the number one song for however many weeks in the biggest rap feud in the last like 10 years. Like, come on, bro. Like, let's say roles were reversed and you were the one that dropped a Not Like Us on Kendrick. Anyways, it's your boy Big Egg News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. I'm out.